What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? How is everyone doing tonight, guys? All right, guys, what's up, everybody? Juan Geronimo here, CEO of Wealth Streams Academy or Wealth Streams for Beginners, guys. Whatever you guys want to call it. But, guys, tonight is going to be a special live training for you guys here because we are going to go over ultimately how you can add $5,400 into your life with passive income. Now, for most of you guys that are already part of our current group, you guys already know that we drop nothing but valuable information on helping you getting started with your ATM business and ultimately building passive income. But for those of you guys that are brand new to the group, guys, welcome. First and foremost, guys, I want to show my gratitude by thanking you guys and joining our group and ultimately believing in us on helping you understand and learn more about the ATM business and just building passive income, guys. Now, with that being said, guys, I have a special presentation that I set up for you guys tonight. Every single time that I have a presentation, everyone loves it. Everyone loves it, right? So I got to do what the people want. And that's just how it goes. So with that being said, guys, before we go ahead and get started with our live training tonight, real quick, guys, you guys see the little banner down there? It says comment live if you guys are watching live. And of course, if you guys are watching a replay, go ahead and comment a replay down below as well, because no matter what, guys, we are still watching the comments even after this live gets posted into our groups or anywhere in our social media. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and dive into tonight's agenda. Now, we're going to go over 3 or really 2 topics on the ATM business, but also over the frequently asked questions, right? Everyone always has questions about the ATM business, whether it's how do you start, how do you make money, how do you get your money back, what banks do I work with? I mean, the questions go on and on, guys. And for the most part, this is exactly why I do these live trainings, so that every single one of you guys can always have the information so that you're able to go out there, kill it, and ultimately start making passive income. So as you guys can see, we have 3 agendas tonight. One being the frequently asked questions and the other 2 being the informational part of this live training. For the first agenda, guys, we are going to go over ultimately how you can start making an extra $5,400 a month in passive income. Now, hey, it could be 5,000, it could be 3,000, it could be 4,000, it could be 6,000. Shoot, if you guys really want to aim for high numbers, right? We can get to 10 to 12,000 just like I've accomplished so far with 30 of my ATMs. And trust me, guys, as long as you guys put in the work, which we'll get into, right? Consistency later on during this live training, you guys will be able to make it happen. And of course, second agenda, we're going to go over having the right mindset. Ultimately, how having the right mindset can set you up for success. Excuse me, guys, I'm drinking a Monster and it got me burping right now. How having the right mindset will ultimately help you scale the business, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, starting a business is one thing, but having the right mindset, right, to be able to carry on and continuing to push through with your business is a whole nother ballgame, right? So ultimately, when you start a business, you have to have the right mindset. You have to tunnel vision. You have to focus, right? You have to be a business owner, right? Hey, if business owners or being a business owner was easy, if being an entrepreneur was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? But for the most part, that's not the case, right? Very few people become entrepreneurs and very few people become successful at being an entrepreneur, right? So again, guys, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But again, guys, for those of you guys watching live, comment live down below. Go ahead and comment down live right now. And of course, for all of you guys watching the replay, comment replay, guys. Don't worry, we're still watching the comments. And again, guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys that are watching live right now. And of course, even for my people watching a replay, feel free to comment down below. Now, hold your questions, guys, because toward the end of the live is when we'll go into the frequently asked questions. And of course, maybe have a few of you guys ask a few questions if we don't run out of time. And I'll be more than happy to help every single one of you guys out. So with that being said, guys, real quick, guys, for all of you guys watching right now, take advantage of the free resources that you get here in our group, guys. Take advantage, right? Right now, we have a free guide. It's a free ebook that we can send over your way, and you could download it to your computer. You could download it to your phone. And while you're at work, while you're in the passenger seat, while you're on the train, while you're on the at your desk working, you skim through our guide. And ultimately, with our guide, you would be able to get an inside look of what it is to get started with an ATM business. Ultimately, how the ATM business changed my life, going from a construction worker, from a worker in the oil fields of West Texas, working 15 to 17 minimum hours a day, to now financially free, an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur, right? Making 2 to 3 times more than what I used to back when I was working in construction, right? So everything is in here. All the sauce, guys, everything that I've gone through in my entrepreneurship journey, guys, I literally pasted inside of my resources so every single one of you guys watching can take advantage of it, right? So go ahead and comment guide down below if you guys would like access to one of my guides. And ultimately, for all of my people that are readers, right? And I have a few people in here that are visual learners and they rather watch, the mini course and whatnot. Hey guys, don't worry, we got that for you as well. But for all of my people that are readers, for all of my people that like to read, hey, this guide would be phenomenal for you. This guide would not only motivate you, it would show you the ins and outs of the ATM business, what it costs to get started with a business, and a little bit more. So I hope you guys enjoy that guide. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into our live training. Now, as always, guys, you have to have a why, right? You have to have a why. And with entrepreneurship, guys, one of the things that I learned is having a why when you're getting started with a business, right? Having a purpose is what's ultimately going to motivate you, is what's going to get you to push forward, is what's going to get you to get up and work your ass off. One of the things that I've noticed in entrepreneurship, guys, is if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a why, you're not going to put in as much work into your business, right? Because there's no purpose, right? You're going to treat it as a 9 to 5, right? How many of you guys right now watching? And guys, it's all right. Don't be embarrassed about it. I was never embarrassed about it, and you shouldn't either, right? But how many of you guys right now show up to work just for the sake of clocking in, just for the sake of getting that check? I used to milk the clock, right? I used to just show up to work because all I cared was getting the money, right? There was no purpose at the jobs that I had up until I found out how to detail cars, right? How to clean cars, how to wash cars. Then I found a job at a car wash. And then I really started to enjoy washing cars. And at that point, I started to find a purpose of showing up to work. And now it became, instead of it being work, it became now something that I actually like doing. So now I liked showing up to work, right? And then sooner or later, I ended up starting my own auto detailing business. So that right there is a purpose, right? Showing up for a purpose. And just like a 9 to 5, right? Having a purpose at your 9 to 5, having a purpose with your hobby, whatever it is that you want to do, very similar to entrepreneurship, guys, right? I actually spoke to somebody earlier this week and they were like, hey, Juan, how do you do it with staying motivated, with staying consistent? Like, what's pushing you to keep, I apologize if you guys can hear my dog, but what's pushing you to, want to move forward? And, at the end of the day, it's all about your why. And the same thing that I'm telling you guys here right now, I am telling every single person that asks me that exact question about motivation. What keeps me, going and consistent, right? And it's ultimately the why, right? What's your why? So with that being said, guys, comment down below right now. Hey, again, guys, don't be embarrassed. Comment down below and let's manifest. Let's go ahead and manifest it, guys, because it's all about manifestation. You have to put yourself in a situation that you would want to be in the future. You have to visualize yourself in the future, right? So if you want to be the next millionaire in your family, if you want to be the next person to start a business in your family, if you want to be the one to take your family and move forward and not have to worry about a 9 to 5, not have to worry about the bills, not have to worry about the price tag every time you go shopping with your family, right? Holidays are around the corner, right? If you want to be the one to show up, buy your kids, buy your girlfriend, buy your boyfriend, buy your significant other, your family, your mom, your dad, your uncle, right? Your aunt, doesn't matter. If you want to buy your people, your loved one, anything without having to look at the price tag, without you being affected by it, then guys, go ahead and comment down below what's your why. What's your goal, right? Go ahead and comment it down below, guys. Don't be embarrassed, guys. Again, there's no wrong answer here. We're not judging nobody here, right? At the end of the day, everybody that comments down below, it's also that you can look back, come back a few months later and watch this live training replay and ultimately see that you were once in the comments trying to learn, trying to, get ahead. And then later on down the line, guys, a few months later, right, when you actually become successful, when you actually make a change for you and your family, you could always come back and be like, damn, man, Juan was right. It was all about manifestation. It was all about focusing. It was all about figuring out what your why is, guys. So let me give you guys a little background on my why. Now, I do apologize. Both of these pictures here on the right side came out horrible. Every time I upload my PowerPoints to StreamYard, which is what I'm using to go live, it always screws up my pictures. So this picture here, as you guys can see, their little baby feet here, right? So this is a picture of me and both of my daughters. And then this picture here on the right side is me, my oldest daughter, who's 5 years old, and then my girlfriend, right? That we this picture was when we went to the fair. We took our little girl to the State Fair of Texas, had her enjoy, that day, and she had a blast, and it was amazing. And that's what this picture is. You'll probably see it on my social media if you guys follow me on Instagram. I'll go ahead and put it down below, right? You'll see in the little green bar at the bottom what my social media tag is. But sorry for the pictures. Now, again, guys, what's my biggest motivation? And just like I told the people that I speak to every day, because I speak to people like you every single day that are wanting, to start a business, that want to make passive income, right? And one of the main things that I tell every single one of them was, hey, my why, my motivation has always been being financially free. And most importantly, being there with my family, right? Growing up as a Mexican, right, in a Mexican household, both of my parents working construction, my mom working in a factory, right? Growing up, she used to clean offices and whatnot. And of course, they're not going to be cleaning the offices while they're in office hours, right? While they're open. So she would literally leave at night to clean, and we wouldn't be with either with my mom in the evening or with my dad in the mornings, right? So, being away from our families definitely taught me a lot about being there with my family, right? And that was one of my biggest motivations. And whenever I graduated high school and I realized that college wasn't for me, I was like, well, I have to go work a job that's going to make me some decent income, because if I'm not going to get a degree, then that means I'm not going to get a well-paying job, just like I was taught, right? So I went into construction, right? What I do best, which is hard working. And I went into the oil fields of West Texas. I started making a lot of money, guys, about 6 figures a year in income at the oil fields of West Texas. But the only thing about working in the oil fields of West Texas is, yes, I was making great money, but number two, guys, I was away from the family. I was never spending time with the family. I mean, I was in the oil fields in New Year's. I was in the oil fields on Christmas, on Thanksgiving. I was in New Year's on family birthdays, parties, right? There were so many family events, family time that I missed by just working in the oil fields of West Texas. And at the end of the day, it was just something I didn't want to do, right? Working in the oil fields also taught me a lot, because I saw a lot of people that are older than me, literally like guys in their 50s, 60s. We had a 70-year-old working in the oil fields who was breaking his back all because he had to provide for his family. He had to put food on the table. He had to have a roof over his family, right? And at the end of the day, there's no other choice but to work hard, because just like my parents told me, right? You either go to school and get a degree, right, and work in an office, or always have a backup plan because of your degree, or you work construction, you work your ass off, you climb the corporate ladder, you work your way up to supervisor and manager and so on and so forth. But we all know that that takes a very long time, right? I mean, I asked one of my supervisors in the oil fields, like, how long did it take for you to ultimately become a supervisor? He was like 55, close to 60 years old at the time. He was like, dude, I just became supervisor like 5 years ago. And I was like, so it took you about 40 years to become a supervisor and get paid $30, $35 an hour, or whatever he was getting paid, right? I don't know. I'm just making up numbers, but he was getting paid more than me, right? And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could spend the next 40 years in the oil fields of West Texas away from my family just to get lucky and ultimately become a supervisor. I was just like, nah, that's not what I have. That's not what I have in me, right? So I decided to come back home. And I didn't decide to come back home just because of that, guys. I got the news that my 5 year old, who's 5 year old now, right, was coming into this world, right? My girlfriend gave me the news that she was pregnant, and I was like, yeah, now's the time, right? I'm bringing a life into this world, and the last thing I want to do is be away from my daughter, right? Miss the first words, miss the first steps, right? So I was like, you know what? I have to make a change. I have to go home, work for myself, figure it out, make my money work for me, and ultimately make passive income. And that's when I found out about the ATM business, guys. And since then, I've started my ATM business in January of 2020. Started my ATM business January of 2020. Slowly but surely started scaling my business after investing in myself, right? Because I didn't do this on my own, right? Excuse me. Every single entrepreneur out there, no matter who it is, whether it's Jeff Bezos, whether it's whether it's Elon Musk, right, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg, right, doesn't matter. They all invest in themselves. They all invest in their company, right, their self education, right, and not only that, right, they have to have a team around them that would help them grow the business. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, yes, you could start something completely on your own and do everything on your own. But eventually, if you want to scale the business, if you want to grow, you have to have a team. And that's one of the things that I've been working on my entire entrepreneurship journey. I started off completely on my own, started to scale, but I started to get to the point where I really couldn't do this on my own, right? I had to build a team. And since then, I've built a team. I've been able to scale so far to 30 ATMs on location, currently making me anywhere near $12,000 to $15,000 a month. $12,000 to $15,000 a month in passive income. And that's income that I don't have to show up and work for. That's income that I can sit back, I can go on vacation, I can spend all Thanksgiving with my family, I can spend all Christmas with my family, I can go shopping, I can buy every single one of my family members a Christmas present, right? And not worry about it hurting my pockets, because at the end of the day, guys, I invested into assets, I invested into myself, and now my assets are covering my liabilities. My assets are covering any of my living expenses, right? And that's a great thing about, the ATM business, about investing in yourself, right? And then once I scaled my ATM business to 3 ATMs, which I have right now at the moment, I started to realize like I could really take this even further. I could start building a team nationwide and start helping people build their business across the United States. And since then, guys, I've been mentoring people for the past 3 years, helped hundreds of people start their very own ATM business. And as you guys can see down below, here are some, just few, literally a fraction of the testimonials that I have of people that I've helped start their very own ATM business, now generating them passive income so that they do the exact same thing, which is not have to worry about a 9 to 5, not have to worry about them having to live paycheck to paycheck, right? Them having to worry about paying the cost of living out of pocket, right? Now they have assets that are constantly making money. As you can see on the far left side, I got Jonathan over here who started with me about 2 to 3 years ago and has now since then scaled his ATM business to over 7 ATMs currently. As you can see on the right side, this is one of Jonathan's ATMs that he recently installed. And in the first month, his ATM made him about $400 and some, like $400 plus in just 1 month, guys. Right? So that's just one of his many ATMs that he has right now. And then on the far right side, you can see Raymond over here, who installed his ATM as well. I believe this was ATM number 1, and moving on to number 2, right? So as you can see, guys, we have a proven system here. We have a system that will help you start your ATM business from start to finish, right? The only way, and this is one of the things that my mentors told me all the time growing up, starting up a business, right, is, hey, the only way that you would fail in entrepreneurship is if you let yourself down, right? Especially if you invest in yourself, if you invest into a program, if you invest into a mentor who has a proven record of helping people already, right? Because if he or she has helped people already, there's no reason why you won't be able to take those resources and use them for yourself. And that's just one of the things that, I've took into, consideration when creating this program. I was like, I have to create something that's really going to help people build their business. And therefore I have, and so far have been able to help hundreds of people in the last 3 years start their very own ATM business. So if you guys watching right now are trying to start your ATM business, right? You want all the information, you want the step by step on getting started with your ATM business, and you think that you'll start in the next 3 months, right? Because all it takes is 15 to 30 days to really start an ATM business, right? You could take a little longer, but for the most part, I help people start an ATM business in 30 days or less, right? But if you're trying to start an ATM business in 3 months or less, that's 90 days, guys. Go ahead and comment success down below. Go ahead and comment success down below while I take a sip of my monster because my throat's drying up here. And we'll get into our agenda, guys. All right, guys. So, our first agenda of the night, guys. How can someone like you and me achieve $5,400 a month in passive income? Now, guys, don't mind the exact number. The exact number was for like, I guess you could say to catch your attention when I posted about the live training, right? Essentially, with the ATM business, there is no exact number. Every business is always going to do a different amount of transactions, right? Some businesses may do $5,400 a month, right? Or ATM businesses. Some ATM business owners may do 5,200, 5,000, 6,000. It all varies, guys. It all varies. But for the sake of the example, I try to keep it as specific as possible. So let's start with the business, guys. Is not going to take one night, one day, right? A week, right? There is no overnight success with the ATM business, right? I get a lot of messages with people like, hey, man, I want to start an ATM business, right? I have this much in liabilities. I pay this much in rent. I pay this much in this, right? And I want to be able to start an ATM business so that it can cover my rent, so that I don't have to work, right? And one of the things that I tell a lot of people is like, hey, number one, the ATM business it's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to start this business and in 30 days, right, start making five, six, $7,000 a month. That's just not how it works. I mean, it's possible if you land yourself like a dispensary or you land yourself like a casino or something. That's even if you have the cash flow to maintain that ATM, unless you hire a third party vaulter, right, which is another story for another time, right? But unless you find yourself a high traffic location like that, then there's a possibility you can do that in 30 days or less. But for the most part, for all of us average ATM business owners, especially the ones that are in states where we don't have casinos or where we don't have dispensaries, we're a little bit more on the average side, right? Where our ATMs are going to make anywhere near from, $300 to $400 to $500 a month, right? Now, again, guys, it's not overnight success. So if you're thinking about starting an ATM business and you're looking into the ATM business because you think that you're going to make $5,000 next month or $5,000 in 3 months, I highly encourage you to stop watching right now. Stop watching right now because, guys, this business is not a get rich quick scheme, right? It took me 5 years to get to where I'm at right now, which is $12,000 a month in passive income. Now, it could have took me a little sooner. It could have been a little sooner, but I started to dedicate myself and my time to helping entrepreneurs all across the United States build their ATM business. Now, unless you're trying to do the same thing and focus on helping people as well, it might take you the same amount of time. But if you're just focused on growing your ATM business, you can grow your ATM business to whatever amount of ATMs you want. I have students right now who have more ATMs than me. And that's just because what they focused on is just simply growing their business. But guys, they've been in the business for 4 years now, right? I've been in the business for 4 years and 11 months. I started in January of 2020, right? So it really depends on you. How much can you scale to, right? How much time can you put into your business, right? One of my mentors, right, for example, his name is Mike. Most of you guys know him as our processor. Mike has over 200 ATMs right now. Over 200 ATMs. He's been in the game, of course, a lot longer than I have, right? But he has focused on simply just growing his ATM business, right? After he got to a certain amount, he was like, you know what? Let me delegate this. Let me hire someone to go out and find me locations while I focus on helping people with processing, right? Helping people with ordering ATMs at wholesale price, helping people with programming the ATM. And since then, he's been one of my partners on processing, helping every single one of my students with free unlimited processing, right? Your network is your net worth, guys. So, number two, guys, as an ATM business owner, you must focus on growing the business, right? That's number one, right? When you start an ATM business, you're going to start with one. And once you start to see that passive income hit your account, it's only going to motivate you to want to go out and land more locations. Trust me, guys, I was there, right? It's going to motivate you to want to go out and, land more deals. And therefore, when you're in the ATM business, I highly encourage you guys to, focus, tunnel vision, right? Because a lot of people tend to get a little distracted, right? A lot of us have, friends, a lot of us have family members or just our circle who they like to go party, they like to go spend money. And a lot of people, they land an ATM on location or they land two ATMs and they're like, man, I've seen so much success this month or this quarter that I'm gonna go have a little bit of fun. Let me go celebrate. Let me spoil myself. Let me buy myself a celebration present or whatever, right? And they start to get sidetracked. What I'm telling you guys right now, avoid having fun. Avoid celebrating your success. Focus on just constantly growing the business. Treat every day like it's a brand new day, right? I've landed so many deals in the last 5 years, guys, and every time I've landed a deal, I treated the next day as if I was brand new, as if I had no deals just yet. Excuse me. And that's just because if you start to get comfortable, guys, you're going to start to ease off on the brake or on the gas, right? You're going to start to ease off on the accelerator. And at the end of the day, it's going to end up hurting you. Why? Because you're going to start off like this. And I don't know where you're going to go like this, right? Because you're not focusing. You're not scaling the business. You're not growing the business. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I've had a lot of businesses where I landed a location and a few months later, either the business shut down or the business owner didn't want the ATM no more, or the ATM just slowed down like tremendously, and you have to move the ATM. You have to remove it, right? So if you get too comfortable and you find yourself in a situation like that, it could potentially hurt you, right? So again, guys, focus, tunnel vision, and make sure that you guys are constantly going out and landing deals, right? Number two, live below your means, which is kind of what we touched on right now, right? Don't go out, don't have fun, don't celebrate, right? Treat every day like it's a next new day, like you have zero ATMs on location, right? Because living below your means is going to allow you to invest in your business, not only with time, but with money, right? And then, of course, guys, invest in your self-education. Like I said earlier, your network is your net worth, right? The people that you surround yourself with are the people that you would ultimately end up being like, right? So if you're surrounding yourself around a bunch of people who are constantly partying, who are constantly wasting time, who aren't making any progress in their life, guess what? You're just going to be the next one, right? Now, if you surround yourself around a bunch of millionaires, around a bunch of entrepreneurs who are constantly making tens of thousands of dollars every single month, guess who's going to be the next entrepreneur? Guess who's going to be the next millionaire? You are, right? So you are who you surround yourself with, guys. Make sure that you guys hang around the right people, because investing in your self-education, whether it's you buying into programs, whether it's you buying into mentorships, or you just hanging around the right people and investing your time into being around these people, it's going to grow your way of thinking. It's going to grow your way of looking at business, looking at liabilities, looking at assets, right? So that would be investing in your education. Now, guys, also getting to $5,000 a month in passive income is not going to be with one ATM. Like I said earlier, you might find yourself a $5,000 location, right? If you land a dispensary or a casino, or who knows, a cash only high traffic location. I'm in Dallas, Texas right now. We don't have dispensaries and we don't have casinos, right? We have smoke shops, right? But nothing close to a dispensary, right? But even me right now in Dallas, Texas, where we don't have those type of locations, I still have a $4,000 location right now. I have one location right now that is making me $4,000 a month in passive income. That's just one ATM, right? That's just one ATM. And that's just because, guys, again, I went out, I constantly prospect locations. I constantly put myself in uncomfortable situations. I constantly was out networking. I was constantly out meeting new people, building relationships. And at the end of the day, guys, that's what allowed me to be able to land a location like that. Now, if you're trying to get to $5,000 a month in passive income, again, guys, there's a chance you might not do it with one or even two or even three. You have to be able to grow your business little by little. So how would I recommend you to do that? Well, guys, while you're working your 9 to 5, while you have your current side hustle, while you have your current part-time job, I highly recommend you guys to go and prospect locations and try to at least, guys, at least land 1 to 2 locations a month, right? If you guys right now watching have a full-time job, especially all my people that are single, right? All my people that are single, you have nothing to worry about, guys. You don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a significant other, right? You don't have no liability of impressing nobody, right? You guys can focus on and reinvesting all that money that you're making at your 9 to 5 or your full-time or your part-time job or your current side hustle and invest it into your business. One of the things that I did working in the oil fields, I had a girlfriend, right? And I had a baby on the way, right? But working in the oil fields of West Texas, I was working out there for 10 days. I was working out there for 10 days and I was there for 10 days. I wasn't coming back home. I would come back home for 4. I would be with my family, with my girlfriend, right? And then I would go back home for 10 again. And I would stay there for 10 days. And out there in the oil fields, there was nothing. I mean, the closest Walmart was like 45 minutes to an hour away, right? So, I mean, guys, you had to bring groceries unless you wanted to, make a long drive every single day to your nearest Walmart, your nearest store, right? So, what I did was every single time, right? Sorry, guys, I'm losing my train of thought. I just got a message here, but what I did working in the oil fields of West Texas, what I did was save up every single cent that I could. Every time I had an opportunity to save some money, I did exactly that. I didn't go out and I didn't spend my money, right? I didn't go to no bars with my coworkers. I didn't go to no restaurants, right? I cooked food. I took my lunch to work to the fields, right? I did everything in order to save as much money as possible because I already had a plan in mind. My plan was to invest my money into something that was going to make me money. At the time, I didn't know what it was, but I was saving my money. So whenever I got the news that my 5-year-old was coming into this world and I was going to have to come back to Dallas and figure something out here, I already had about $20,000 to $30,000 saved up in my bank, right? So I had enough money to be able to start a business and get me 1 to 2 ATMs every single month, right? Now, did I get that? Of course not. I was a beginner. I was coming out of the oil fields of West Texas. I was an introvert, right? I didn't speak to people much. I would turn bright red. I would stutter a lot. So it ended up hurting my sales a little bit. But at the end of the day, guys, I was able to invest in myself and start scaling my business that I was able to land 5 ATMs my first year, right? 5 ATMs in my first year, which was good enough. I went from making $200 a month my first month into the business to $2,000 a month by the end of that year, right? But to get to $5,000 a month, again, you have to constantly grow your business. You can't stick with one ATM and expect that ATM to grow, right? There's going to be times where you place an ATM on location and it might peak at like 3, 4, $500 and it might just stay there. It might just stay consistent at $300 to $400 in passive income. Right? So because that location is not going to make any more than that, at least from, at that point, your only option is to continue to scale your business, right? And one of the things I would recommend you to do is land 1 to 2 locations every single month. And if you're working a good job, if you're making some decent money at your current job, there's no doubt in my mind that you can't buy yourself an ATM every month. An ATM costs $2,500 a month just for one ATM, right? Some of us are going out and partying every freaking weekend. Some of us are buying fast food every day. Some of us are buying a Starbucks coffee every day, right? Some of us are spending a bunch of money on just a bunch of BS throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. That this adds up, guys. Trust me, I've done calculations myself. I used to spend like $1,000 to $1,500 in just fast food alone. And I remember I peaked at like $3,000 to $4,000, right? In fast food, guys, right? And if I was spending that money working in the oil fields and working a regular job here in Dallas, right, throughout my time of working a 9 to 5, there's no doubt in my mind that I could have saved that money, spent $200 to $300 in groceries, meal prepped for the entire week, and then had the rest of that money to put to my savings so that I can invest into my business, right? So, sorry, my nose just got itchy out of nowhere. But all you have to do, guys, is scale the business. Scale the business, buy one ATM, buy two ATMs. I understand not everybody is in a situation where you can buy an ATM every month, right? But look, where there's a will, there's a way. And one of the things that I learned about entrepreneurship in general is the great thing about it is you get to determine your results. You get to determine the work that you put into the business. You get to determine how many ATMs you want to grow to, right? I have students right now, guys. I kid you not. I have a student, shout out to David in New York. He started his ATM business, right? And he only had enough to get started with one ATM while working his 9 to 5, right? He's currently going to college as well, right? He's currently going to college, getting his degree so that he could get a good paying job, right? His degree. Well, guess what? At the moment, with his current income, he only has enough to get started with one ATM. But guess what David did, guys? He went out and he started driving Uber. He started driving Uber, whether it's Uber Eats, and he started to make a little extra income on the side, right? And guess what that did? That allowed him to get started with even more, right? So well, there's a will, there's a way, guys. If you really want something, I'm 100% positive that you guys can make it happen. All you have to do is just work hard, right? So let's get into the numbers because we're taking a long time here. Let's get into the numbers, guys. So let's just say that you guys are, installing about one ATM every single month, or let's just be conservative because again, not everybody has it like that where they can just buy an ATM every month, right? So let's just say you're buying an ATM every 2 months, right? That's reasonable, right? You're buying an ATM every 2 months. So that's about 6 ATMs in 1 year, right? If you're someone with, a decent paying job and you can afford to buy an ATM every month, then heck, that's 12 ATMs in 1 year that you are placing. That is exactly how we're going to be able to get to our goal a lot faster. Now, let's just say you place these ATMs in different locations right throughout your city, whether it's barbershops, whether it's nail salons, whether it's dispensaries, casino, smoke shops, convenience stores, gas stations, right? Doesn't matter. Let's just say you place them at your nearest location. And each ATM, on average, guys, is doing about 3 to 5 transactions a day, right? If you place an ATM at a location that has 100, 200, 300, 400, 1,000 people walking in and out of that door every single day, right? The more high traffic, the better, right? If you have a location that has that much traffic coming in and out of that business every day, there is no doubt in my mind that even if 1% of 1,000 people use your ATM, that's 10 people. That's 10 people that use your ATM on a daily basis, right? Now, let's just be conservative. Let's say the business sees about 500 people a day, 1%, that's 5 people. Even if 5 people use your ATM every single day, that is an average of $10.50 to $17.50 a day that each ATM is going to make you, right? And that's you having 6 to 12 ATMs, right? Now, let's get into the numbers a little further, right? Let's just say that at $10 to $17.50 a day per ATM, that is going to be $315 to $525 per ATM every single month, right? You multiply that times 6 to 12 ATMs, guys. I mean, come on, do the math, guys. I have it down here because I'm not very good at math, and I would have put myself on the spot if I were to try to do the math right here in front of you guys. But if you multiply that times 6 to 12 ATMs, guys, that is an average of $3,780 a month to $6,300 in a month in passive income, right? So Come on, guys. It's simple math, right? It's simple math. It's a very black and white business, right? But at the end of the day, guys, like I said, you have to put in the work. You have to stay consistent, right? Showing up one day out of the week for your business is not going to get you these results. You have to put in the work. You have to work with the right people, right? You have to surround yourself with the right people so that you could see those results. So let's go ahead and get into the vision, right? Because again, the vision is scaling the business. Most of us may be okay with three, maybe, $6,000 a month, but heck, some of us may want more. Just like me, guys. I wanted more. Whenever I started my business, guys, whenever I started my business, I went ahead and got to like $2,000 a month my first year with like five ATMs. And that was because the first 6 months of my journey, I struggled. Like I said earlier, guys, I was an introvert. I would turn red, I would stutter a lot. And at the end of the day, guys, I was just like bad at sales. So I couldn't land another location if it was to save my life. And at the end of the day, guys, I was like, you know what? Let me invest in myself. I invested into a mentor, right? I looked into, different mentors on sales, on marketing, right? And once I started to like really get the idea of talking to business owners, negotiating deals, selling my offer, it was off to the races, right? And once I was able to land five ATMs my first year and then 11 ATMs my second year, by my second year, I was already making $5,000 a month. And then, 17 ATMs my third year. And I currently have about 30 ATMs right now in my fourth year and 11 months, almost fifth year. I was like, guys, it's off to the races, right? I was like, if it only becomes easier, right? It becomes second nature. Now I live my day to day life, guys. I'll go out, to a nice restaurant with my girlfriend. I'll go out, with family, right? We go out to get, to a nail salon, or I go to the barber shop. And every time I pass by a location that I see might be a potential great location for my business, guess what I do? I walk in, bring in my brochure, bring in my business card, try to see if the business owner is there. If they are there, have a conversation, introduce myself. Might not pitch them depending on how I'm dressed, depending on how I look, but I make myself familiar. I let myself be known. That way, when I come back, I'm not someone new. They don't have a defense barrier the second I walk in. They're like, oh, you're Juan. You're the guy that walked in the other day. Oh, how's it going, man? Oh, none much, none much. I was just in the area and I'm actually swinging by because I was doing my homework in the area. And for a business like yours, I think an ATM would really benefit you. I see you're taking Square, and I believe with Square, you're paying processing fees. Is that correct? Oh yeah, man, I'm paying payment processing fees right now. They're killing me. I'm like, oh really? How, is it like bad? Like, I mean, don't mean to get into your business, but are you doing high volume in transactions on a monthly basis with Square? Yeah, man, we're doing about two, 20, $30,000 a month in revenue. Oh, okay, man. Yeah, yeah. I bet you're getting a killing from processing fees. So here's what I could do. I actually have another barbershop just like yours that I installed an ATM. They're also accepting, I believe it's Square as well, and they're paying processing fees. But just by placing an ATM in their business and having the business owner drive people to the ATM by withdrawing cash and offering them some sort of like cash discount, that helped minimize those processing fees. I mean, is that something that you'd be, you know, interested in working for your business or interested in looking into? Oh, tell me more, man. How does it work? Right? Boom. You hooked them, guys. You got them to understand a problem that they're having. You got them to understand that you're there to provide a solution. And it's just a matter of selling them, guys. It's a matter of having that conversation. But you see how whenever I walked in, well, obviously you didn't see, right? Whenever I walked in the second time, they were less defensive. They were more willing to talk. And I'm speaking from actual scenarios that I've already had, by the way. So, make yourself known, guys. It's all about building a relationship. And again, guys, when you have a great vision to scale your business, right? Some of you guys may not be satisfied with $5,000 a month, right? $5,000 a month was covering my living expenses, rent, utilities, right? Groceries. I was like, man, if I'm already covering my living expenses, imagine what it would look like at scale, having double the amount of ATM, double the amount of income. Now, not only am I covering my living expenses, but I'm making extra. Now I'm making enough to go out and go on vacation with the family, go and spend some money and not have to worry about the price tag, right? Because guess what? My ATMs are covering it, right? So, hey, everyone has a different vision. Let me hear your vision down below, guys. What is your vision? How many ATMs would you love to have on location if you were to start your ATM business now? Go ahead and comment down below, guys. How far are you guys willing to go? Right? Comment down below. Hey, there's no wrong answers. I have students right now who are like, hey, Juan, but like 2 or 3 ATMs, man, I'm good. I just want enough to cover my rent, right? I want to live rent free. I want to live, I want my ATMs to cover my house payment. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want 2, 3 ATMs just to cover your mortgage, just to cover your rent, just to cover groceries, just to cover gas, right? Just to cover utilities, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Hey, there's a lot of people that are currently happy with their jobs, that are happy with what they're doing, and they just don't want to leave it, right? I currently deal with people that are police officers, firefighters, lawyers. I have project managers, people that are working for multi-million dollar companies already making 6 figures a year, but they're like, hey, Juan, I'm making 6 figures a year, but at the end of the day, I have to show up to work, right? It's not passive. So I want to go ahead and invest my money that I'm making here at my job, and then sooner or later have enough in my asset column that is pretty much covering my cost of living so that I don't have to work as much. Or so that if worst case scenario I get let go or something happens, hey, I got an asset column that is currently generating me cash flow. Right. And that, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, everyone has their own vision. So comment down below what's your vision, guys. Now, let's go ahead and get into our next slide, guys. Now, like I said, guys, go ahead and comment down below, guys. When you guys comment down below, by the way, I ask you guys to comment down below for one specific reason. And that specific reason is number one, it helps out with the algorithm, guys. It helps grow our current group, our social media platforms. And then on top of that, it also lets me know that you guys are interacting with me, that you guys enjoy the live trainings. And I appreciate that. It really does boost, my confidence and ultimately, it motivates me to want to do these lives even more because I see that people are actually watching it, that people are actually soaking in all this information and putting it into their life, implementing it into their business, right? So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, let's go ahead and get into our second topic, guys, because we're 48 minutes into our live training, guys. Need that Red Bull, guys. I mean, Monster, actually. All right, guys. So, our second topic for tonight, having the right mindset to grow your ATM business. Now, a lot of you guys, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier with people that I speak to on a daily basis. They're always like, Juan, what's like motivating you? What's keeping you, to continue to stay consistent and continue to move forward, right? At the end of the day, guys, is mindset. It's mindset. Yeah, it's your why. Like, what's your purpose? What's your why? What are you doing it for? But at the end of the day, it's also your mindset, right? It's all up here, right? Because I have so many people that are family, that are friends, that their mindset is very limited. I tell them, hey, you could do this, right? You're working a good job. Yeah, you're getting paid good, but while on the side, you don't work on your hobby, it could potentially turn into a business, right? And they're just like, oh, I'm too tired. I don't have the time. It's because this, it's because that, right? And it's limited beliefs, their mindset, right? And, unfortunately, we can't break everyone out of it, right? But for the ones that we can, hey, there you go, right? So, number one, guys, grow your way of thinking, right? Like I said earlier, surrounding yourself around people that you want to be like is what's going to grow that way of thinking, right? You're gonna think outside of the box. You're gonna think a lot bigger, right? You're gonna see yourself in situations that visualizing it in situations that you will potentially want to put yourself into, right? Um, Growing up, right, and whenever I started my auto detailing business, right, whenever I was a beginner in just entrepreneurship and journey, right, I always pictured myself having a nice car. I always picture myself having like nice watches, right? I always picture myself having these nice things, and at the time I couldn't afford it, right? But guess what? I had to change my way of thinking. I had to change my way of thinking so that everything that I am soaking in from everyone around me, I can implement into my business, grow my business, and then be able to have the nice things, be able to have the nice cars, be able to, go out to the nice dinners and do everything that I would want to do, vacations, whatever, right? So it's all on your way of thinking, right? Now, work on yourself as a person, guys. Now, I don't say this to say like, oh, I'm a gym enthusiast, not like an enthusiast or whatever. Like, I work out myself like every day. Like, I'm not in the best shape of my life, and I can admit that, right? But at the end of the day, guys, working on yourself as a person really would benefit you, right? What do I mean by that? Well, some of us, it may be going out, working out, right? It may be going to the gym and seeing those results, staying consistent, right? I remember at one point I had this like gym phase where I was actually going to the gym every day. And it was like something that, and I want to get back to that because I'm about to tell you why. But I was going to the gym every day with a friend of mine, right? And we would wake up at 5 in the morning, 5 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning, show up to the gym, work out from 5 to 6 a.m. By 6 a.m., we were out of the gym. And by 6 a.m., guys, the day was barely starting. Guess what? People aren't even awake yet at 6 a.m. And I already completed the gym. That alone, thing alone, guys, I highly encourage you guys to do something similar to this, right? That feeling alone makes you feel so accomplished that it just motivates you every day to want to work hard. And guys, that was during the era of me just going crazy on my ATM business, like going out, landing deals, talking with business owners, landing locations left and right, just putting myself out there. And it was because I always started my day off by just going to the gym, 5 in the morning to 6 in the morning, go home, take a shower, freshen up, have breakfast, and then just go out and kill it. Right. And this was like during the like third year of being in the business, right? So work on your person, guys, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's reading books, right? Whether it's just working on yourself, right? In general, that is going to help motivate you to want to do more, right? And also believing in yourself, guys. Really, really, like I know this sounds cliche, but believe in yourself, guys. You have to believe in yourself, right? Limited beliefs, right? Thinking negative about yourself or even about certain situations, like, oh, I can't do it, or that's it's too good to be true, right? Thinking that way is only going to attract that negative energy toward yourself, right? You're only going to, prevent yourself from actually accomplishing those things because you're already setting a barrier right in front of you, right? There's this quote, and I forget by who, and I don't even know the exact quote, but it goes like this, right? If you think negative of yourself, that is only going to happen to you. Like if you say I'm not good enough, you're not gonna be good enough, right? And if you say yourself, I can do it, I believe in myself, I'm gonna make it happen, I'm gonna drive the nice car, I'm gonna have the nice watch, and you just have that way of thinking and you constantly put in the work, guess what? You're gonna have the nice things. You're gonna drive the nice cars, right? So always, always, always believe in yourself and never think negative about yourself. Because when you think negative about yourself, guys, your brain, like it literally captures that. It captures that and it engraves into your brain, and you literally start just being negative. It ruins you guys, trust me. So think great about yourself, believe in yourself, stay consistent, guys. Step out of your comfort zone, right? A lot of us, you're too comfortable with at your 9 to 5, or you're too comfortable in a situation that you're in, and all it is just hurting you, right? There's not one entrepreneur out, and you guys can do this research yourself. Go look into an entrepreneur, and I'm sure every entrepreneur that you guys follow, every single year, every single month, they're always at a much higher level. Every single one of my mentors has always, always, always leveled up every month, every year, right? We don't never stay stationary. And same goes with me. I try to level up every month. I try to level up every year. Every year, I want to make more than what I did the last year. Every month, I want to do more than what I did the last month, right? Every entrepreneur is always like that, right? But there's always a few people that they get comfortable with their current results. They get comfortable with their current situation, and they don't make no progress. They put everything on pause, and they're like, man, I'm already making 5-6 grand a month. I'm already covering my cost of living. Let me go on a nice vacation, or let me do this, or let me go buy this, let me go buy that. And they're just comfortable. They're on autopilot instead of just constantly making and putting in all that work, so that if worst case scenario on a rainy day, guess what? You have never paused. You've always put in the work. You've always stayed consistent. And whenever there's an emergency or a rainy day, guess what? It won't affect you as much because you prepared. You went above and beyond, right? So always step out of your comfort zone, guys. Never, never, never fall into being comfortable and just staying stationary, because that will hurt you. I've done it times, guys. I'm guilty of this myself. I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? I've been comfortable. I've had limited beliefs, and all of this that I'm literally like preaching to you guys, I've gone through it myself, right? I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't go through it, right? So, um, number two, guys, the power of consistency and discipline, right? I kind of already spoke on this a little bit, but stay consistent, guys. Ultimately, your small actions turn into bigger results, right? The small actions that you consistently take turn into big results. What do I mean by this? Well, guys, in the ATM business, you might go out and prospect locations every day, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get a yes every day. You may get a no 25 days out of the month. Guess what? The other 5 days, you got a few yeses. You got a few maybes, right? And guess what? Out of those 5 yeses, or out of those 5 days of yes and maybes, guess what? One of those locations may be one of your gold mines. It may be one of the locations that sets your portfolio, you know, it puts your portfolio in a much better situation, right? You go from making $1,000 to $3,000 a month. You just don't know, right? Last Friday, guys, I landed a cash only bar. It's an after hour bar. I know you guys, for those of you guys that were here during my live training last week, I've told you guys about the location that I landed in October. The first Saturday of October, I landed another cash only bar. And that location for the month of October made me $1,300. And that was from a referral with a business owner that I currently work with. Well, last Friday, I had someone reach out to me and was like, "Hey, Juan, I had this cash only bar that needs an ATM," right? And it was because I literally go to every event that I have. I network, I put myself out there, I stay consistent. And guess what? Those small steps that you're doing every day turn into big results. I installed that ATM on Friday, and for that weekend, that ATM made me $300. $300 in one weekend. That ATM made me what some of my ATMs make me in a month. And it was because I'm constantly staying consistent. I'm staying disciplined. I'm treating every day like if it's a new day. I'm treating every day like if I don't have any ATMs. Because again, guys, once you stay comfortable, you start to kind of ease off of the gas, and you start to slow down and make no progress, and it ends up hurting you in the future, right? So practice daily habits, guys. Practice daily habits and contribute it to your business, right? Like I said, if you want to work on yourself and go to the gym every day, right? Do it. Stay consistent, stay disciplined. That's going to help you out with business, guys. That's going to help you out with, being true to yourself, right? Going out, constantly working hard, constantly putting that time into your business, especially a lot of us young cats. Well, I call myself young, but I'm pushing 30, guys. I'm 26. Don't say nothing. But a lot of young cats, right? And I call myself young cat because all my mentors are like 30, 40, right? 50. So a lot of us young people, we have nothing but time, especially for all my people that are single, for all my people that have no kids, right? Nothing wrong with all my people that have a family, right? That are in their 30s or their 40s or late 20s, right? But a lot of us young people, we have nothing but time. So use that time wisely. And then for all of my people that are with families that are a little bit older, nothing wrong with that. You have still time to put into your business, right? Instead of sitting down and watching Netflix, instead of sitting down and watching, sports or whatever, go out and put that time into your business. I understand everyone needs a break. Everyone, is tired of their 9 to 5 or is tired of whatever, right? But at the end of the day, what's more important? Your future, your business, or your current state, right? Whether you're tired or not, right? So always stay consistent, guys. Always stay consistent. Now, overcoming self-doubt, guys. Overcoming self-doubt is an important one. This is an important one because at the end of the day, guys, a lot of people, they just have, fear of failure, and limited beliefs, and that holds people back from even just starting, right? This is one of the quotes that I came up with the other day, right? Without fear, there is no sacrifice, and without sacrifice, there is no success. Right? This is a quote that I thought about the other day, and ever since then, I've been saying it. Without fear, there's no sacrifice, and without sacrifice, there's no success. Therefore, guys, everybody goes through fear. Everybody has fear. I was once fearful when I started my entrepreneurship journey. I was once the type of person that did not want to invest in myself. I did not want to invest into a program or a mentor because I was always afraid of what if I lose my money? What if I get scammed? Or what if this? What if that? Right? But it's all about sacrificing. It's all about taking that leap of faith, investing in yourself. Because, guys, what you don't know, right? You will never know if something really works out for you if you don't put in the time, if you don't take the leap of faith, if you don't sacrifice, right? I would have never known about an ATM business or how amazing it is to make $10,000 to $12,000 a month in passive income if I didn't take the leap of faith in myself 5 years ago, if I didn't invest into 2 different courses, if I didn't invest into 5 ATMs my first year of being in the business without seeing a return on investment, right? I was $22,000 into my ATM business my first year with 5 ATMs after like mentorships and programs and everything without seeing an actual return on investment. But guess what? I sacrificed. I took the leap of faith and I invested in myself. I believed in myself. I put in the work. I stayed consistent. I stayed disciplined. And here I am, guys, 5 years later with over 30 ATMs, making over 10 to 12, sometimes even $15,000 a month because the ATM fluctuates, right? Every single month in passive income, right? So there you go, guys. Now, every entrepreneur, like I said, guys, at one point has to take the leap of faith, right? Jeff Bezos didn't create Amazon by, just, oh, what the heck, let me start it, right? He took the leap of faith. He invested in himself. He started out of his garage and nobody believed in his vision besides him and a few others. And guess what? Now he's one of the richest, if not the richest person in the freaking world, right? But it all started by him investing in himself. And he started like in his like what, late 30s or something, like 40s. Don't really recall, but he started pretty late, guys. So it's never too late to start. It doesn't matter what age you're currently at. It doesn't matter whether you're freaking, 40, 50. I have students right now that are in their mid 50s, right? That have started their ATM business and are actually my outperformers, right? They're the ones that they're outdoing all my younger people, right? So it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter at what point you're currently in your life. You can make it happen, guys. Now, of course, guys, you are who you surround yourself. And we kind of touched on this already. You are who you surround yourself. So at the end of the day, if you want to be successful, you have to hang around successful people. You have to hang around successful people. You cannot be successful and hang out around a bunch of people that aren't successful, around a bunch of people that live their day to day by spending money, by going to the bars, by having parties, by partying every day, by doing drugs, right? You're never going to be successful by hanging around people like that. So surround yourself around the right people. Your network is your net worth. Stay consistent. Soak in all that information as if you were a sponge and implement it into your business. And I guarantee you guys that you guys will become successful. You guys will become the next entrepreneur, the next millionaire in your family. If not, you would be the first, right? No one in my family right now, at least that I know that I'm close to, is a millionaire. So, not saying I'm a millionaire yet, but hey, we'll get there. And eventually, all the work that I put into this, guys, is going to pay off. Just like with you. Every single one of you guys watching right now, you guys are putting in the work. You guys are investing your time into something like this. And guys, it's going to pay off. You just have to stay consistent. You have to believe in yourself, guys. And I know you can do it, guys. I grew up in a Mexican household. Both my parents were like, man, you better not start a business. You better not invest all this money into something like this. What if your ATM gets robbed? What if you get robbed? What if you get killed? What if this? What if that? Right? And if I would have listened to them right now, I would have been in the oil fields of West Texas still working right now, guys. So, hey, it's all about taking the leap of faith. It's all about investing in yourself. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for tonight's live training. I hope this training really gave you guys the motivation to want to look into a business, want to look into entrepreneurship. I hope this also gave you a better understanding of the ATM business and how it works. And hey, guys, if you guys have any questions, because we don't have, unfortunately, enough time to get into the, Q&A section and the frequently asked questions. So I do apologize. But for those of you guys that do have questions, go ahead and comment them down below. I'm going to come back after, my day of work today because I still got some work to do, guys. after my day of work, go ahead and comment down below in the comments right here under this live, and just comment whatever it is that you want, whether it's about my portfolio, my journey, my ATMs, doesn't matter. Comment down below any questions that you guys have, and I will come back and reply and help you guys out. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be pretty much it for tonight's live training. If you guys have not already followed me on Instagram, the little tag is down here. But with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next module. Peace.